Hi, welcome back. I'm just out midweek on the bike for a wee run. So our road out of Dunbar is closed because the water main broke the other night. But that's alright, I'm not going anywhere particular. That's your old road sign there. Sign to Edinburgh. So let's go up the back roads. I'm just out to give the bike a run. It's currently 20 to 8 in the evening. Oh, I better not rev through the tunnel tonight. There's someone with a dog. That would be rude. I wouldn't like it with my dog. So this could be our Scottish summer, all 2 days of it, as Billy Connolly used to joke. So he always said, and he probably still says it, there's only 2 seasons of Scotland. One of them's only got 2 days, and the other one's winter. A few bumps here. But it's a good job that little road's still there to press into service. When other roads have an issue. So, and I was out in the Jeep earlier, I was chatting to a couple of folk, chatting to Ricky, who I used to work with. I was speaking to Callum, who I used to work with. He's the head man at Winterfield now. And when I was in the high street, I was speaking to Marky, and who I used to bike ride with a lot. And when I was speaking to him, I got approached by a French couple, obviously visiting Dunbar. And when he seen the French number plates on my Jeep, he straight away went, "Le Jeep," which of course is what the French call the Willis Jeep. But he was delighted when I told him it was a French Jeep and it was a Hotchkiss. He said, "Oh, it's a Hotchkiss." So he's the first person I've actually had a conversation with about the French Willis Jeeps, and that was really cool. So his wife got a photo sitting in the Jeep. There was actually 6 or 7 different folk appeared, obviously day visitors or whatever, past me today when I was parked up around the town in the Jeep, taking photos of it, which is, it's funny because I just don't think anything of it, but a lot of folk will never see one going about. So there's a little ravine on the other side of this field, and it is buried now. It was filled in after the farmer had it filled in, the entrance, but there is an underground small bunker in there, and it was the Dunbar Ox Units base, which was actually Little Spot Farm. It's actually in that bit in there somewhere. Imagine if I raked about in there, me and G went up, and you get in the winter when the foliage is down, you'd find the rock pile, because it's probably stones that have been thrown out the field. Look at the colour of the light. That's beautiful. I'm definitely going to stop tonight and take some photos, because I'm always not got enough photos to put in on Instagram with my bike when I'm out. You always forget when you're filming. So this takes us up to Brock Dean and Brockwood. And, as you might know, Brock is a Scottish name for a badger. There you go. Oh, that sounds brilliant. So while we make our way up to Spot, down the Dean and through the ford, I'll just have a quick chat about I see Two Wheeled Willie's bought another classic 500, of course, a few months ago, and he's loving that. So he's now sold his big Kawasaki, and he's bought a classic 350 again. And he's answered all the questions that people ask about what's better. And so there's a lot of talk about the classic 350s this now. So he's talking about them. Volcanic Brown's just done a really good film about the comparisons of them, and he does a brilliant comparison about what the differences are. And also the old man, he's got one as well. He's just bought an as new one. Darcy and the old man, you'll probably watch their stuff. If you watch this, you'll watch them. So there's three folk there talking about the old classics again. And they are good. I mean, I've ridden Trav's, and Trav's been out a lot with me with his. But they've not touched on a couple of things. And that is, these are absolutely bomb-proof reliable, day in, day out. Now, Trav has had a few issues with his classic 500. And yeah, there's a lot of folk who've done a lot of miles with them. The chap in Ireland, I forgot his name right now, sorry. He's just started putting films on again. Oh, wild garlic's out, look. That's beautiful. Just got a photo of that. It's a nice place for a photo, actually. Now, of typical, I was going to buy a 500 bullet, because there's no point in me buying another one of these when I've got one. But of course, now Mr. Darcy's old man's bought one. The last of them will be getting bought up. But the good thing is, there is loads of them which have got 0 miles, next to 0 miles on them. Because they're all bought, all like these, they're all bought by folk that have 2 or 3 bikes. So they don't get any miles on them. And I was looking at a battle green one for 2.4. So my plan was, I was going to buy a World War II Royal Enfield 350 WD. And there is one in Inverness for sale on Marketplace, you can have a look. And it's got all the documentation, so it's been one that's been in the war, it's got its stamps. And then it's went back to, I'm just going to roll the bike down here. It's went back to the Royal Enfield factory and been rebuilt after the war and put back out on the road as a civilian one. Of course, I want an army one, but that's the one to get, one that's been factory rebuilt, and it's got all the modern crank bearings and everything. That one has been fully rebuilt by a professional. That would be worth buying. Nice just to get some photos, because I never get photos when I'm out anymore. The smell is amazing. So you can see why you go through on the wheel marks on a 4 out the centre. See the moss? It's a good photo. Try your brakes. Definitely if you've got drum brakes, try your brakes. That's what that's been from, the days of drum brakes. as I found out after I got my Jeep, filled the brakes full of water and then just about crap myself, and I jumped on them and nothing happened. There you go, that's you got some photos for Instagram. So I'm guessing some of yous listened to him saying that I was on Instagram, because a lot of new folk have appeared and just kind of said hello and stuff, so thank you, and I've followed a lot of them back. Listen to the bird song. Blackbird. Song thrush was earlier there. Fantastic. This is worth coming to for a walk. It's beautiful, this wood. And up there is the ruins. Was the water reservoir that was in there. It collapsed. Right, so as always on a Ford, ride it on your clutch and don't use that throttle hard, and don't use your brakes at all, and keep your feet up on the pegs, because you keep your centre of weight in line with your wheel axles when you're off-road on greasy stuff, and that's what keeps you upright. So yeah, I'm now saving £3,000 a year. That's my bike fund. So in theory I can buy a nice wee bike every year, but I don't want a load of bikes after to get MOT'd and taxed. So what I'll probably do is buy possibly a Bullet, or one of these, another one, and then a 500 when I'm talking about a Bullet. I'm not buying it until I need it though. And then I will get a vintage one, because you only got to pay for your insurance for a vintage bike. So we'll stop at the Witch's Stone again. So Mary and Lily burned at the stake near here somewhere for witchcraft, but it's went all wokeified, and it's got like, I mean, somebody's put a vape in there last time I was here. I mean, really? But yeah, it's all went a bit woke. It's been woke. There used to be an old metal plate and it told you the proper truth. Now it's like, we cannot undo the hurt, blah blah blah. Yeah, whatever. Okay. So we don't need to go back on the A1, we can go back down through that tunnel back into the town. But isn't this great? 10 minutes from your door and you're up out here in the sticks. It's just brilliant. This is the start of the hill foots here. So I was sorting out goggles to wear on my open face helmet tonight. Not the green Royal Enfield one, but another one I'd bought, a black one. Because I've obviously got those pattern US Army tank goggles. Got them from, it's either Epic Militaria or Soldier of Fortune. Both of those shops do all the reproduction stuff, which I think is brilliant. It's good value for money. So there you go, Glenn, everybody waves. So I'm still to find out which house the rat catcher stayed in here, because I've told you the story. There's a M20 BSA buried behind the house, because when the chap died, and I remember meeting him as a kid with my dad out in the nature reserve, he did vermin control, but he was known as the rat catcher, because he did a lot of the farms with terriers and stuff. And everything got chucked out of the house down the back. It was like a midden, as there always was behind houses, where all the old junk and rubbish was dumped, and it was shoved down there. Be knackered now, but oh, that would be great to find, eh? That would be a great story, great film to make. So back in there, in that triangle of wood, was the Dunbar Royal Observer Corps monitoring post, underground bunker, the 2-room bunker. It's one of the ones that they did away with when they halved the numbers. And yeah, I've still to do a film on all them, which will be going into the one at Garvold and then just talking what I know about them. This isn't nothing to do with that, that's the water reservoirs. So here's the woman walking that was in the tunnel, so I'll get the tunnel to myself. Look at that view, it's beautiful. So the fields have all the crops up now, bit of heat this week, that'll change things. Here's a cherry tree in blossom, isn't it beautiful? So that was one of the old roads that they closed off. Usually the gates are locked on them. It is at the other end. It's a classic East Lothian farm, beautiful farmyard. Clean and tidy. So yeah, for me, weighing up a Bullet 500 or a Classic as a second bike, I've already got a Classic. However, if you had two bikes, then you've just got one box of service parts for them both, and tyres are the same, etc. But there is no point in buying another one just now when I've got this going perfect. So I'm more thinking towards something vintage. I would love a World War II dispatch bike. They are a hell of a money though. Hell of a money. But I would buy one like my Jeep that's running and that has been like 99% restored. Then you're not buying something that could just be a nightmare. The thing is, you need to know how to fix things, and when I say that, properly fix things. We can all service things, but servicing and honing, say, a bore and grind valves, you can do that, but putting valves together, seating them and all that, you know, with all the valve tools and things, it's a skilled job. Anyway, nothing else coming up much. I'm not going to be filming really at weekends now, as I've told you about home stuff. What's into this? Oh, is that beautiful or what? All I can hear is little flies hitting the screen. Now interestingly, I was looking around on eBay and going through all the sites, bikes for sale. Enfields, should I say. Go and have a look on eBay and just look up Classic 500s, Royal Enfield Classic 500s. Because it's not listed under a Bullet, it's listed under that. And you'll see the brand new, still not registered, Pegasus Enfield 500, which is in Cooper motorcycles. They've got a black special as well, limited edition one that's numbered, not registered. So two of them that have still not been registered, but they're £7,000. You can get a hell of a motorbike for £7,000 now. I mean, you're getting into the big Royal Enfield territory, or God, you're getting into Triumph a good second-hand Triumph motorbike for 7 grand. But yeah, watch Volcanic Brown's comparison, because he's a guy that does actually ride them. And that's the problem. All the reviews and stuff that folk do, most of the people, bikes now are just toys, Sunday toys, and they're on a many bikes, so they don't do a lot of miles. But there is folk out there getting the miles on them, and they're the folk though to watch. They'll tell you the ins and outs of something, and what's good and not good. Give their honest opinion. The best thing for an honest opinion is to ask someone, would you buy one again? And I'd certainly buy one of these tomorrow. I know my mate Trav, he came down the A9 from the Murray Coast on his Bullet 500 and he couldn't feel his feet after sitting at 70 to 75. So while they might have about a slightly higher top end, there's a price to pay. Well, these, I mean, you can do it because I've done it. You can hold these on the stop in top gear and fifth on a dual carriageway as long as you want. You'll not blow them up. They don't drink oil, nothing. Fantastic bikes. And now I'm only commuting to mine in good weather. It's going to be even better now, just really enjoying it. So better slow down here. Well, saying that, when you come through here at 25 and a 20, everybody's sitting up your backside. Everybody's running about like an idiot now. Like, heedless chickens, as they say in Scotland. Heedless. Headless chickens. So that road back there is closed. Well, they're finishing the tarmac. It's not going to open until 2nd or 3rd of May. But there'll be no one there at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning to say to me I shouldn't go through. I actually seen a motorbike tonight coming down the A1 going in there. Okay, so we'll wrap this up. So, as always, thanks for watching. If you're new in here, consider subscribing, is what I'm supposed to tell everyone. But I'm really caring if folks subscribe or not. I'm happy with the folk that are subscribing and come and chat regularly. And actually, would rather have that than a whole load of strangers asking questions. Okay, bye for now.